Hey guys, what's up? It's Kaylee here. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to be talking to you today about finding my biological father. So I've made two videos previously that will recap you on the whole situation if you're interested. That way I don't make this video like an hour long. But I will sum it up for you right now. I'll leave some cards up here and also links in the description if you're interested in the whole backstory, even after watching this video if you're just curious. So you can check that out if you'd like. But the 30-second kind of recap is that I don't have like a situation where my mom didn't know who the father was. We knew, and it's not like it was like something like that where it was like more than one possible kind of like, I don't want to be like crude, but it's not like Maury kind of situations. If you're thinking that that's what it is, probably because there's so many of those kind of videos on the internet. So my situation's a little different. Instead of having a mom and a dad, I had two moms. I have two moms. Hi, if you're watching. And they wanted to have a family, so I am the product of a donation. So my moms went to the doctor and received a donation from my biological father, who created me. So in those videos you can definitely check out like my story about how I found my siblings first. What I did, I think like in 2014, was I submitted my DNA to a kind of like ancestry.com, but it was a different one, just to see like what kind of heritage I had, because I was curious, because I only knew half of my DNA pretty much. Like I only knew what came from my mom, so I wanted to know like the other part of my heritage. So that's why I did those tests. And then in my second video that I made about finding some siblings through this donation person, the donator, I found them through that website, and that happened later on, and I got an email saying I had an immediate family match, and then I contacted them on Facebook and basically found out I had 3 other siblings at that time. So that's the recap of those 2 videos. That's the point where this video is going to cover the rest of it, and that's pretty much how I found them. And basically what happened after that was we met up, we had lunch dinner a couple times, got to meet each other, and it was really interesting because you could see the similarities in how we looked and stuff, and they were really great people, so that was amazing. And then knowing them, they were really into the DNA. We ended up finding another sibling through that who had just found out, and submitted their DNA, matched us, and we found them, met them. So at this point I had 4 siblings, and yeah, let me just double check. Yeah, 4 siblings at this time. And it was funny because we're all redheads, so it was like, oh, haha. But anyways, and then after that, they were really into finding more people and like more about our family lineage and things like that. So that happened, and eventually we got to narrowing it down to who the donor might be. And I contacted them on Facebook, but the donator is about, I think, 72 or 74, so I was thinking like, okay, we're gonna have to do some more digging. And so we ended up contacting his actual, well, not actual, but like full daughter that he created on purpose. I guess like to raise himself kind of thing, like, yeah. So we contacted her, and through that we found out who the donor was, and ended up speaking with him, and that's pretty much how we discovered who it was. And so now, and it's really weird because most of us live in the same city right now. I'm going to be moving though, but we live about in the same city. And if you watched my other videos, or if you're going to tune into them, you're going to know that I said I just wanted to know more, like, if I had the opportunity, I wanted to know more about health-related things like that, not so much like have a relationship with this person. Because to me, he already allowed my parents to have a child, and he did his end of the bargain. That's amazing. I was just curious about learning things like, yeah, definitely like health history, things like that. And so I contacted that girl, and she got us all into contact with him, and we've pretty much learned a lot about our health history and things like that. And personally, like, I think that's enough for me. I don't really want to seek out a relationship because I don't know, I just don't feel like that's not something I'm looking for at this time. And I definitely enjoyed meeting my siblings because we were kind of like in the same situation. We had questions, we're around the same age, just things like that. It was cool to make some friends, right? But I don't want to really form a relationship with my biological father. So I am definitely super grateful for pretty much all the information that I got, and I think now the tally of how many half siblings I have, so it was 5, wait, I think it's 7 now, 7. And something that I found really kind of on almost disturbing, in my opinion, was that he donated, I think, something in the hundreds of times. I can't remember, but he donated like hundreds of times. And this was like back a long time ago when it wasn't regulated as much. It was definitely a new practice to do this kind of thing. So the amount of siblings that I could have are like literally, I think, up to 40 at this point, and that's super overwhelming for me, to be honest. I don't think that they do that anymore for sure. I know that in Canada you have to get a donation from like another country because we are not allowed to pay anyone for any kind of donations, like whether it's plasma, you know, a kidney, you know what I mean. You can't pay because it exploits people that need money in almost a wrong way. But that's pretty much what he did, was he donated for the money, obviously, and it helped him out in some rough times. And I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still grateful to be alive, so I'm not going to complain too much. But I think that at least nowadays, it's kids that are younger won't have to, you know, deal with something like that, because it's definitely overwhelming. And yeah, I have no words for it, honestly. So I thought I would give you guys an update of pretty much what happened. I'm pretty sure that there's going to be way more people that are going to be coming out like of the woodwork, like taking these tests out of curiosity like I did, and that my story isn't complete. But I think the big piece of the puzzle, well, there was a huge bug that just landed on the window. Wow. Anyways, there's a huge piece of puzzle that I found was like I guess, the ultimate prize of knowledge, and that is definitely solved now. I don't really think that there's more that could surprise me at this point, but I thought I would definitely share this with you guys because I can wrap up my entire story that I've shared with you. I know I've gotten a lot of questions, and I've gotten a lot of questions from people that are looking for something similar to what my mom's did, and are wondering like what would happen if they had a kid like that, and I'm happy to answer questions like that. I am also getting questions from people that were in the same boat as me, like children from donations, and the only advice that I could give to those kids is that you should just do those websites if you're curious. I'd say like Ancestry is probably the most popular, so you'd have the most likelihood of matching other people on that one, because it's the most well known. And as for like people that are getting kids through donation, I know a lot of my siblings weren't told until like their 20s or 30s, and to me, I feel like that's wrong, and that, you know, that's not a secret that should be kept. our doctor apparently coached the parents not to tell their children about where they came from, but that was like in the 80s and like early 90s, no, like in the 80s. So I mean, it was a different time, I guess, but I honestly think, like, coming from my point of view, knowing my entire life was definitely a lot better than to be shocked later on in life. Yeah, I would be very upset with my parents if they just revealed to me all of a sudden that, my dad wasn't really my dad or what have you. Because all my other siblings have come from straight families, so it's a lot more shocking for them. I mean, I had to be told because I have two moms. Like, the stork story wasn't gonna, cut it until when I was a teenager. So I was told from very young about where I came from, pretty much. So, and I think that from my point of view, that's probably the best policy if you're thinking, like, what should I do in that kind of situation? I'm just trying to think of anything else that people would be curious about. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. I'm happy to answer. And I'm super happy to have wrapped up this story with an ending because I never really thought that I would have the answer. And now that I do, it's definitely, it's surprising to me. I've had a flow of emotions from like bewilderment to extreme anxiety to shaking when I found like contacted people, but overall I'm really happy that I did it. It definitely gave me some closure about who I am and where I came from, and that's another reason why I think it's important for families to tell their kids where they came from, like if your kid's adopted or what have you, that they should know because that's part of them and it's not your secret to keep, if you get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, other than that, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching, and definitely don't forget to subscribe to me because it means a lot, and I will see you in my next video. I've been making a few gaming videos on Twitch, so if you want to add me on Twitch and we can chat on there, that'd be amazing. And I've been really working on my Instagram, so if you'd like to follow me there, it would mean a lot to me as well. And take care, have a great day, and again, if you have any more questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comments. Bye!